Okay, I'm stuck on something. It's about race and what we do in times like this. I talked about it on my episode of Droplets today. I also talked about it on Threads a little bit, but I think this moment is really interesting. We have a moment where, and not interesting in like a good way. I just want to talk about something like this phenomenon of centering whiteness and also like just a couple different things that are going on. So, I don't know if y'all have seen the viral video from Idaho with, I can't remember her last name, but Dr. Teresa, and then the GoFundMe that has raised like $200,000 for her legal fees, as well as the firing of Joy Reid at MSNBC and her former white colleagues' responses to it. Put a pin in it, come back. So one of the things that I'm seeing right now and hearing a lot of is like, what do? We need to do something. We need to activate. We need to radicalize. Which, like, yes. Like, yes. But I just, like, Portia Noir said this so well, which was like, if they wanted to, they would. And in the instance of Dr. Teresa, they have. White people have raised $200,000. And yet there are many a mutual aid for Black trans people, for Black people, for Indigenous people, for people of color that are never funded. And I just raising things here, right? And I also just wanted to point out that, like, yes, we need witnesses and we need people that are action takers. And this is all in reference to the Idaho situation. But that action taking also relates to like Rachel Maddow's commentary on Joy Reid. So everyone's praising Rachel Maddow, and I'm not saying that the speech was bad, but I'm also saying that it was approved by MSNBC. And I'm also saying that she could do more. She could have stepped down from her position in protest of what the network did to Joy Reid, and that would have made more of a statement than sitting there and making commentary and criticizing MSNBC. So when we talk about like what you can do, you can put your literal jobs and bodies on the line, and more than likely you will be okay because of your proximity to whiteness. And the other thing I want to point out in this situation is like how quickly white women have been centered. Like in my Threads feed and my TikTok feed, the conversation so quickly went from Joy Reid to all Rachel Maddow that it was like whiplash. And now the conversation has stayed on praising Rachel Maddow. And I think that's I think that's unfortunate. This is a reflection on two things: how quickly the conversation moves to centering white people and white women in particular, and the infantilization of white women is interesting, but I'm not going to get into that right now. And then also how much action, like actual action, white people are able to not take. And the expectation is that Black people, Indigenous people, and people of color, as well as trans people, put their bodies on the line and take the action and know the action. But yet white people throw money at an issue or will just talk about an issue. And I saw a great a great thread that was like, anti-racism equals action, not racist equals words. Food for thought.